Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Monday, the 5th day of June, 2023. And I am not in Europe. I am not in San Diego. I am in Albany, New York. Why am I in Albany, New York? Because I am here at Siena College, one of our colleges, our Franciscan colleges here for Holy Name Province. The other one is St. Bonaventure University. And this is Snyder Hall, which is a residence, it's a student residence. And we are staying here. Why are we in Siena College? Why are we in Albany, New York? Actually, the subdivision of Loudonville, which is one of the suburbs of Albany. Well, we're here because now the great work of becoming one province of the United States has begun. And so the actual movement towards this happening in its culmination in October begins with individual meetings of the 6 provinces that will become one province in October. And ours is this week. Please pray for the Franciscans. Please pray for Holy Name Province. Please pray for the future, because who knows what the future will hold once this new province comes into existence, because all bets are off for what was, what is, what could be, what might be. So it'll be interesting to see how this all unfolds. But we are meeting here for the entire week. So different views of Siena College, kind of like a college tour. And so this will be it. So this Snyder Hall over here, this is one of the newer residences. It's nice. Okay, it's not great nice, but it's okay. It suffices. But this is where we are staying. So our first meetings happen today on this Monday. This Monday, that is also the Monday of the 9th week of the year. Yesterday we celebrated Trinity Sunday. We celebrated the first of the great idea feasts. Again, ideas of God, ideas of what God represents to us, of what we represent to God. So Trinity Sunday, this past Sunday. Next Sunday is Corpus Christi, solemnity of the body and blood of Christ. The Friday following that is Sacred Heart, and then at the end of the year is Christ the King. So 4 great idea feasts, not necessarily historical experiences or narratives of the life of Jesus or Mary or Joseph or the saints, but again, ideas, theological ideas of God. Can you celebrate a theological idea? I guess you can, because we have Trinity Sunday and Corpus Christi and Sacred Heart and things like that. Is it always good to celebrate ideas? No. It is good to celebrate truths and realities, but these ideas also lend themselves to truths and realities too, so it kind of works out in the end. Anyway, on this Monday of the 9th week of the year, we moved from the book of Sirach, which we had last week, and then even before Lent began, now to the book of Tobit. And Tobit is always a very strange book, because it's a book with a lot of interesting things that happen to it, or have happened to the main character Tobit within it. Who is Tobit? Tobit is a good Jew, and he was a Jew of the northern kingdoms, or the northern kingdom, the northern tribes of Israel, who are attacked and overrun by the Assyrians in the 700 BCs, I think it is, and they are carted away to Assyria. We don't know much about them, and so Tobit is kind of the only insight we have. Again, they're sometimes called the lost tribes because you never hear about them again. They never return to Israel, supposedly. Only the ones that go to Babylon return to Israel. And you get a bunch of Mormons coming from all of this too. So it's interesting how this all arises and what people will take of it. So Tobit is in exile in Assyria, trying to remain a good Jew, while a good Israelite, while again the Assyrians are trying to amalgamate them into Assyrian customs and things like that. And one of the things that is happening is that because some of the Assyrians, because some of the Assyrians don't like having the Jews with them, there is kind of a subtle persecution that is happening, and there is murder being done on a significant basis of all the Jewish exiles that are there. And the command goes out. Sorry, I almost tripped. So the command goes out to the Israelites that they are not to bury any of the dead Jews that they find, which is abhorrent, because all Jews, an Israelite who has died deserves burial, and it's a mark of respect and a mark of understanding the relationship that one had with this individual, which is beautiful and wonderful. But the Assyrians won't permit it, and so Tobit has already been under suspicion for having done this before, and in this case he's setting down to a dinner to celebrate again the Feast of Pentecost, again the deliverance of the law to Israel, and setting up this dinner wants to invite some poor people to join him at this meal, and his son goes out to try to find them and discovers another murdered Jewish person. And so Tobit goes and under cover of night buries this body. And the neighbors are like, what are you doing? Because you'll be in prison, you'll be hunted down, and worse perhaps for doing such a thing. But Tobit breaks the law because Tobit is trying to be faithful, even in exile, to what it is that God has asked Israel to observe and Israel to become. So again, it always is a nice idea of exile. How does one maintain one's identity? How does one maintain the truth of who and what one is, even in these most dire and dreaded of times? The Gospel of Mark, again, moves in a different direction. We have the wonderful parable about the vineyard owner and the tenants. And again, we hear this during Lent, and it's a very big Lenten reading about some tenants who are given a vineyard to watch over, and they refuse to give the produce back to the master for some strange reason, and because they want to inherit it themselves. And after a bunch of people are brought forth to try to get the vineyard produce, they kill them, they murder them, they beat them, they throw them up and throw them out, or whatever it is, and then they kill the son of the vineyard owner. Allusions to God, to Jesus, to prophets, to Jewish leadership, all these things. The bottom line of it is that Jesus asked, what will the vineyard owner do to these dishonest, disloyal, awful tenants? And basically kill them, get rid of them. And Jesus basically gives this horrible foreshadowing that that's what's going to happen to you if you reject me, reject and die. But that isn't what happens. Again, it is resurrection. That again says, let us play by, in which it is God says, let us play by my rules and not by your rules. And let us see what happens. This tremendous transformation that again happens, And so what we do, is again in trying to remember this, is remembering who and what God is and what God needs to be for us and what God says God is going to be for us. That, again, keeps us faithful. That keeps us attentive to God's desires for us. Which are always towards the good and which are always towards benefiting us. And that should be able to give us peace. Again, a blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. Remember to pray for the Franciscans of Holy Name Province this week. May the Lord give you his peace.